And welcome to this episode of the Houndsman XP podcast. We're getting geared up for the United Houndsmen of Colorado Banquet. On this episode, we're going to recap our fundraiser we did out in Kiowa, Colorado. But I'm just honored to have Kody Lostroh and Justin Angelovich on this podcast. We're going to talk about what's going on in Colorado with mountain lion hunting. We're going to talk about the resurgence of United Houndsmen of Colorado, and the timing could not be better. With the hunting ban, also known as Initiative 91, going through the ballot process, there's a good possibility that we're going to see the ability to lion hunt and bobcat hunt in the state of Colorado go to the ballot and be in the hands of the voters for some ballot box biology. The biggest enemy to hunting and the North American model for wildlife conservation that we have ever seen in this country. And the biggest challenges that we as hunters and people who deeply care about the wildlife, the people that have paid for the wildlife with our Pittman-Robertson money through guns and ammo taxes and our hunting license, all of that is at stake in the state of Colorado this year. And Kody and Justin are here to talk about the upcoming banquet and how you can pitch in and help. While we're on that note, we are still selling the Join or Die collection on our store at houndsmenxp.com. You can custom order that shirt from our store. It'll be printed and shipped to you, and then the profits for that we're sending to Colorado this year to help pay for this fight. It's going to be expensive. It already has been expensive. There's been a couple $100,000 already spent in attorney fees to fight it in court. And I mean, the list goes on. If it appears on the ballot, if they get their signatures, then we're going to get into the really expensive part. TV ads, billboards, handouts, pamphlets, feet on the ground, word on the street, getting the word out there to influence these voters to put this unreasonable and irresponsible hunting ban to death on the ballot. And that's going to take a pile of money, folks. So we're going to need everything we can. You can donate to CRWM, Coloradans for Responsible Wildlife Management, directly by going to SaveTheHuntColorado.com, or you can purchase something from our store in the Join or Die collection, and we'll put the profits from that towards this fight. You know, I was talking to Ed Barnes the other day about this issue and just about the animal rights anti-hunting movement in general, and he said something that stuck with me. We have to win every time. If we lose one battle, it's gone forever. Trying to get that reinstated in this current political climate and the culture we're living in is almost impossible. So we have to win every time. There's no time to waste. Make sure you check out houndsmenxp.com or donate at savethehuntcolorado.com today to preserve your lifestyle. It's not just a Colorado thing. This is a national stage, national organizations that are going to bring these same tactics to your state. So without any further delay, this is a box shaker. Let's get the tailgate down. It's time to dump the box. Yeah, so what a better way to start a day than to look at Kody Lostroh wearing a Houndsman XP t-shirt. That's a good way to start a day right there.
Well, somebody paid me plenty of money to wear it, so I guess I could get the better.
I don't know who that would have been. Oh, man. Hey, I have not talked to you. You haven't been on the podcast, and I just want to congratulate you publicly for being inducted into the PBR Hall of Fame, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's pretty cool honor. And, you know, I guess I never expect that stuff, but I guess it's time. I don't know. I don't know what else to say.
Does that mean you're getting old, and they just want to make sure they can remember you, or what does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's just to keep us coming around a little longer, I guess.
Yeah, just kind of trailing you along. It's like, we still need you, Kody. We still need you.
Yeah. But
I
it's cool,
hear you.
man. That was a good event, and lots of bull riders from different eras and all walks of life. So it was cool to be a part of that group.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we got Justin, the
Morning,
Jubba
fellas.
Angelovich,
How are you?
freaking sporting clays master. What'd you score on the sporting clays range, Jubba?
Oh, no, not that. Well, Kody
I
did
thought
better
you were
than I
burning
did.
it up.
No, I wouldn't run away. If Kody had a shotgun, I wouldn't run away. I'd stand and meet my fate. You're not getting away from that guy. So, no, I don't remember what I did. It was 70 something, not very well.
Out of
72 or so.
out of 75.
Yeah, right. Out of 100. No, it's been years since I had shot, so it was good to get out and shoot again.
Did you guys like that event? Did you guys
Did.
Was it good to have kind of a change of pace?
100%. It was good to do something for veterans as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good
time.
I'm sorry, Kody. Yeah.
Oh, I just said it was a heck of a good time. I really enjoyed that. Thought it was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Not take away from, you guys just wrapped up Houndsman days and things like that. I think we need to do a lot of that stuff, but sometimes it's just cool to do something where you're not messing with dogs and you're not, because when I haul dogs to an event, it seems like you try to get in some good conversations, but you're worried about your next event. You're worried about making sure the dogs are watered. You get a dog that gets off the tie out and he's running around camp, and now you're chasing a dog. And with the sporting clays deal, it was just a nice change of pace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah. And those shotguns don't eat near as much as the dog. So it's
no kidding.
Less maintenance.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. There were some guys that were like super serious there, though. They had their own carts and had them all rigged up for sporting clays tournament shooting. And I bet their shotguns eat plenty as much as they shoot. I bet they I bet they had as much wrapped up in their gear. I was looking at it. I thought, we've all got our vices, but they've got some money wrapped up when you start looking at how their golf carts were decked out and their shotguns and their gear and everything else. Pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Like anything, I suppose you get passionate about something, you're not afraid to dump a little money into it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for anybody that doesn't know, if you missed out, then it was your loss. But we're talking about the fundraiser we did at Kiowa, Colorado, to raise money for CRWM, Coloradans for Responsible Wildlife Management, and Freedom Hunters and Houndsman XP and UHC. We all jumped in together and raised a pretty good chunk of change. We raised before we took out our expenses, we were right around 28 grand. So, yeah.
Heck yeah. Good job with that. Everybody involved.
Well, I was really happy to see you guys come out, and it was a real pleasure to meet your staff, your membership, stuff like that. My freaking email's going off and keeps dinging in my ear, and that's all I can hear. So need to turn off the notifications. But I was really happy. I was a real pleasure to meet. There were several guys there from UHC that I got to talk to and meet them, and it was just a good day. We had a good time.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I've talked with a few people, and I think moving forward, that might be something that we try to do every year.
Well, let's talk about that, because we were kind of thinking about the same thing. Yeah, that's got some possibilities.
I think that's a good way to reach out to the communities, get folks involved in a different time of the year and different things, and shoot. It was fun. It was enjoyable.
And it's something, a lot of the people that were there shooting, there were a lot of people that weren't houndsmen. That was the cool thing is, if you have a hound event, it's hard to draw people from outside to be able to interact with them and meet them and let them know what your concerns are and shake their hand for supporting your efforts and, things like that. But an event like this, when you do a sporting clays event or something similar, an archery shoot, whatever it is, those guys are just there to shoot and support the cause. And you enlarge your circle of influence.
I agree.
Sound like
Absolutely.
Stephen Covey.
That's what we need too, really. I mean, we gotta participate in events across the fence, with our fellow hunters and anglers and all that stuff, and create those relationships and make this a bigger family.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you guys have got an event coming up, and that's what we're going to talk about. I want to give everybody a preview and appeal to people. You don't have to be in Colorado. You can be I'm coming from Indiana. Okay. So if you live in Wyoming or Nevada or New Mexico, then you need to be at Gunnison, Colorado. And I'm just going to kick it to you guys and let you guys tell everybody what's going on.
Yeah. So June 29th, we're having our annual banquet. It's going to be a night full of games, good food, some presentations, some speeches, nice auction. Should be a good time, and you had mentioned you're coming from Indiana. We've got folks coming from Utah, Idaho, Oregon. Supposedly somebody from California is coming out,
Cool.
New Mexico.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people coming out, and it's important to get together on something like this and kind of support that, because these funds are going to go straight to advocating for hound hunting in Colorado. It's our goal is to educate and advocate for houndsmen in the state. And it's a tough thing to do right now. This is doomsday for us here in Colorado. And so it's important to get folks involved and be able to get people to talk to and spread the word and just kind of sharing the experience.
Can you put that in a more cheerful way, Kody, than Justin? Because I think you just talked to everybody out of coming to the banquet.
Oh, no. I should have.
It's too early in the morning for Justin.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. He's right on though. This is a critical time in Colorado, and it's a critical time all over the country for houndsmen. What the opposition is watching what's happening in Colorado right now, and they're planning their future. So right now it's super important that we all get together and fight this head on, hit hard, hit first, and win, because there's no plan B. This is it, and this is real. And so, not only is this super critical and important, but also it's a good time. I mean, right? That's part of living and part of what we do. We enjoy what we do and getting together with like-minded people and having a good time, sharing stories, and the games and prizes and everything we got put together are going to be a lot of fun. They say the food is great too. I'm not much of a connoisseur of food unless it's a steak, but I'll take Justin's word for it.
But you having like a French cuisine or what, Justin? What's going on here?
It's
what kind of stuff we having that Kody wouldn't be familiar with?
It's just good. It's just good barbecue is all it is.
Oh, cool. I was afraid I was going to get out there and have to eat quiche or something.
No, just good old barbecue.
We got the Chris Powell tofu plate for all of vegans.
Oh man, have you ever had jambon soup?
No,
never even heard of it.
Oh yeah, it's a Korean dish. So my wife hates it. She can't stand to look at it, but it's got pieces of squid and shrimp and I mean, it just smells real fishy and stuff, but it is outstanding. It's got a little spice to it. Yeah, it's wild, but that's total sidetracking when we're talking about food. What are you drinking already this morning, Justin? Were you drinking
that's just
Coors Light already?
No, that's just a tea.
Yeah, they better not have the ledged out open already this morning. I'll get after it.
Yeah. No, they left the ledged out in the garage. So,
well, I don't know what I've got going on here. Got dogs barking and everything else going on. Tough and I were out on a little hunt this morning, and he got separated. I'm trying to look and see if he was retrieved another possum to the house. That sucker kills stuff and he brings it to the house.
He's proud.
Oh yeah, he comes up and shows off everything he kills.
He's showing it off. Yeah.
Well, let's get back to the banquet, and I want to talk about. I want to peel back a couple layers here, because when the UHC has had a huge revival from the outside looking in, from where I'm sitting. And, I went to Outdoorsman Days last year, and, was just kind of listening to everything that was going on and trying to figure out where I talked to the leadership of UHC, then talked to them about the prophecy of a ballot measure to outlaw mountain lion hunting this year. And it's not that they weren't prepared to deal with something like that. Well, I mean, I don't think that they were totally prepared or even ready to deal with something like this. And then since that time, I've seen this resurgence of energy and effort. And you got Naomi and you two, and I've met your board of directors, some of your directors and stuff in Kiowa. And what has been the reason besides, I mean, is it solely based on the fact that you guys might lose it all in Colorado this year? Is that what's caused this resurgence in your
No,
efforts?
I mean, yeah, that's the gasoline to the fire. But a big part of it for me is we've got to build a community of houndsmen here. The guys before, they had a small group of like-minded individuals that had houndsman days and participated in stuff and kept in contact every now and then, and there wasn't a need for it to be as serious. And now, with the ban on the line, as well as the culture of hound hunting in this state being kind of in the dumps a little bit, guys drive past each other and growl, and we don't really have that camaraderie in this state. And that's been a big part of what I've wanted to influence and change. We're all good people. We all know what it takes to be a houndsman, and it's something we should support one another in, and sharing the experience with one another. So yeah, there's been a lot to getting UHC revitalized and moving forward. It's been a process, and we're doing the best we can, but this machine moves slow, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really ever happens overnight when you're working with something like this, and building relationships with CPW and these other organizations. That all takes time and reputation, and it's been tough. It's been a slow moving machine, but there is a lot of behind the scene conversation and different things that have happened that have got us partnered with other houndsman organizations and good graces with other agencies and things. And it's really helping us in the long run.
Have you improved your relationships or built relationships with other groups like Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, the sheep clubs and Safari Club? And
yeah, definitely. I mean, I coming into this, nobody knew who I was. I was invisible, and now there's no telling how many phone numbers are in my phone now after all these meetings and public events and conversations and meeting folks and keeping up with them. There's quite a few organizations throughout the state that I didn't even know were an organization that I talk to more than regular now. So yeah, it's been a good networking push. It's unfortunate that it comes at the precipice of a ballot initiative, but it's been a good move for UHC to get involved and to get in the mix and to gain these relationships and stuff now, because we do have people in front of us and behind us.
And and along with that, UHA, from Utah there, they've been huge. And I really, as far as the West here goes, I think they're a shining example of what the West needs to strive for as far as houndsman organizations. They've really got their stuff together, and they've been doing it a long time, so they understand they've succeeded and they've screwed up and fixed the mistakes. And as far as the help that they've put into what we're doing and the example they've shown has been great. So big shout out to Corey Huntsman and everybody involved there. And we appreciate all you're doing and helping us along.
Utah Houndsmen is one of those organizations. When people ask me about hound organizations, ones that are top shelf, I always mention Wisconsin bear hunters, Michigan bear hunters, Upper Peninsula bear hunters, and Utah always makes that cut as well. I mean, they're doing things the right way. They're being effective. They're raising money. They're keeping their membership engaged. So I always try to, give people examples of how a good organization can be effective and why it's so important, for you to be able to do that. And what I've seen you guys do, Justin, with the, all of the contacts you're making, and the old saying is if you're not at the table, then you're on the menu.
Yeah.
And when people don't know who we are as individuals, and that this, like you said, people didn't even know that the community existed, that your membership was out there. And now people are talking about you guys, and it's so important, because I'm going to tell you right now, we cannot stand and fight this thing by ourselves. There's no way.
No.
No.
There's no chance. We need every bit of participation from Houndsmen as well as these other organizations, and these other organizations have really spearheaded it. Everybody knows Dan and CRWM and everything that he's done, and it's astounding. And back to what Kody said with Utah, Utah is I told the board after going to the Utah banquet that if we could turn UHC into half of what Utah was, it would be a success.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're doing it well, they're doing it right. They've got a great group of guys running the organization now, and top to bottom, those guys have done it right, and they're all stand-up individuals, So yeah, it's the bar that they've set that we want to try and help reach too, and working with them. I've spoke with Corey plenty. I'm sure that guy's probably tired of hearing me. I've spoke with Corey plenty, and he's lended me some advice on making these changes and leading a group like this and stuff. And it's been instrumental in helping us along.
Yeah. Yeah. Why have they, when we're talking about this, and then I want to get into, pumping this banquet and telling people why they should come out. And, but what's made them effective? What do you think if you could list 5 things? Have you had a chance to check out Cajun Lights and Cajun Outdoors? While we're talking about people and companies and different things that support our lifestyle, Cajun Lights is one of those companies. We've got to be diligent in who we're sending our money to these days. Cajun Lights has a full range of lights, everything from one of my personal favorites, the Micro Gator. It's just a really handy light. I use it on everything around the house here. Use it on the farm, use it when I'm on the road. It's just a lightweight, small light. And then it goes all the way up to one of the nicest competition coon hunting lights you could possibly have with the blinder. But above that, LW Nixon has all of the gear that you're going to need for your hounds, hound care. All of that can be found at Cajun Lights. Check them out. We also offer Cajun Lights on our website, in our shop at houndsmanxp.com. You can order your light from right there. The Houndsman XP podcast only endorses products that we would use ourselves, and I do use Elite Nutrition supplements. Elite Nutrition offers supplements for your horses, your mules, your dogs, and even you. These all-natural products work with your dog's natural immune system and its normal, natural body function, not to treat symptoms, but to fix problems. Stop pumping pharmaceutical toxins into yourself or your dogs, and start using these all-natural products that work with the perfect system that God gave you. Go to tryelitenutrition.com and check out their products for wound care, prebiotic, probiotic, puppy stuff. It's all there. Parasite control. If you expect extreme performance, you need Elite Nutrition. And here's a news flash for you. Houndsman XP is a dealer of Elite Nutrition products. You can check out the whole lineup at houndsmanxp.com in our shop. And we are getting ready to add the full line of horse and mule supplements along with those outstanding dog products that we already carry.
Community's probably the biggest. They've got a sense of community there that is just different. And maybe Utah's different than Colorado as far as the society there goes. But at their banquet, I don't know, there was probably 90, 100 kids at that banquet. Everybody brought their family. It was a family deal. It was great to see how much they cared about the kids there at that banquet. And most of us houndsmen, we are family. We have families, we got kids or grandkids or whatever it is, and it was a big deal to them. And that was pretty impactful to me just to see that community and everybody getting along and everybody enjoying themselves there together. And these are the same guys that cut tracks in front of each other and same
Oh, yeah.
problems anybody else has,
That's what I was
So,
getting ready to say, man. You still hear the same on the mountain type problems,
oh yeah.
but
Yep.
what you're seeing there is when there's it's time to come out off the mountain and everybody put the guns and knives away,
Oh yeah.
and just come to the banquet and raise some money and get along.
Yep. And another thing it's made them really well is not to take anything away from anybody else, but Kody's got a head on his shoulders. He's got a good idea of what's going on and what's to come and the consequences of what can happen. And he's going about it the right way, and he's working hard at it. That guy puts in the work on that organization. And I think that's a big part.
I can throw in another one for you. As far as you mentioned community, the engagement of that community is absolutely critical of that working. Without the engagement, you're spinning your wheels. And that's something, I'm calling her out my Colorado houndsmen right now. We need engagement. Calling her out houndsmen in Wyoming, New Mexico, everywhere. You got to have that engagement. And that's something has, consciously put an effort into doing. And it's why they are as successful as they are.
Yep.
What else you got besides community? You got community engagement. What else? What else is something that relationship building? The fact
the relationships they've built with their DNR is unbelievable. They've got relationships with colleges and everything, the study work that they do and things that took time. That took a lot of time and that took a lot of effort and energy, and that's a lot of what UHC is striving for right now on the back scenes is just getting these relationships and getting these connections made and getting involved with the CPW and letting them know who we are, letting them hear us and see the action that we do, and see the good things that we can cause and help out. But yeah, those connections, that networking is massive to any organization because nobody does it on their own. The biggest organizations in the world, they're not doing it on their own. They're still networked and things with other people. So yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, you got to be strategic. You got to have vision, man. Leadership is key. I don't care. Any organization needs solid leadership that can steer the ship. But you got to do it in a way where you get that engagement that Kody talked about. And not everybody's going to be the guy to stand up at a commission meeting and lay out your case for you. You need guys that can spread the word out here on the streets. You need guys that show up that help set up for the banquet. You need the guys that have got deep pockets that are going to spend money at the banquet and your events and things like that. So it's all about that network and that vision. But the thing, like when I pay my dues to any organization, then I'm paying for that representation of who I am and what I do. And if it's not an organization that's got that vision and those resources, and they're not working to establish those contacts and relationships, I don't need to spend my money with you.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you guys have done a great job. When do you guys fall into your leadership positions? August or September of last year?
Mine was, yeah, both of us were in August of last year.
Yeah. And since then, you've been to commission meetings, you've been to title board hearings, you've been, all kinds of stuff that you guys have invested yourself in. So that's what I'm trying to build up to, man. If you want to enjoy this lifestyle into the future, there's guys working hard for you. And if you're from Colorado, you need to get out there and support UHC. And then if you're not from Colorado, you need to come and see how these guys are doing it. Because, I talked to Luke Worthington in Wyoming and John Rutter from down in New Mexico and different stuff like that. Sometimes the best thing to do is see what a good job looks like. I've
Absolutely.
tried to move our, get our board of Hoosier Tree Dog Alliance to go to a Wisconsin Bear Hunters convention, see what you can do, see what you can accomplish, and use those as examples of, man, you can be effective. This isn't any small potatoes type stuff.
Yep.
You're 100% right. That perspective, right? Perspective's everything. And when we open our eyes to what we really can do, I think we would be amazed at what's possible.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yep, I completely agree.
Well, let's tell people why they should be coming out to the banquet. Let's roll it out and give people a sneak preview of what's going to happen at the banquet.
Okay, so banquet's going to run tentatively. Now we're starting it at 3:00. All the details will come out on our website and through our mailing list. So if anybody wants to know and keep up to date, they can sign up and subscribe through the website, or just check the website for updates. But tentatively, 3:00, we'll be doing a viewing of Lionheart documentary by Blood Origins. After that Lionheart viewing at 3:00.
Well, I want to say something about Lionheart because I get tons of messages. It's like, where can I see Lionheart? Where can I go see this? Here's where you can go see it. You can go see it at the UHC banquet on June 29th. It's going to play there.
Yes, sir.
So that ought to answer a lot of questions. What's that?
I said, and you get a meal when you get to come watch it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And then after the Lionheart, we'll roll into the banquet. We'll have a silent auction, some games. We'll have an opportunity for people to kind of spend some time, look at that stuff, do what they need. And then
what kind of games? What kind of
games?
I was going to say,
tell us about the games, Justin.
We're going to have sack races, like leg wrestling.
I'm half tentative to spill the beans on this because guys are going to be educating their wives on it, but we got a pretty fun game. I think it'll be out there. And you don't
have to just overall. Are we looking like casino style games?
So no, there's going to be some scoring games. We'll have some lion heads. We'll have some dead heads there to score. We'll have a couple different little games for the kids. We'll have one game where you try and determine the value of what's on the auction. And the closest person to that auction is actually going to win a hunt. So there's one game, and then there'll be a women's game that's just a women's only game. It's kind of a trivia type game that I think is going to be really fun and interesting.
Pin the tail on the lion for the kids.
Yep, we're going to pin the tail on the lion for the kids. We got another one that's taken straight from UHA. They did a coin flip game for the kids, which was a blast. I mean, the kids got on stage and they just do a heads or tails game, and they had a riot with that. We're going to run 2 of those during the banquet as well. And then in the midst of all of that stuff, we'll have Chris Powell there to have a conversation with folks. And it sounds like you're going to host the event.
You just drove everybody away now.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. So you get to speak to houndsmen and speak about hound hunting in the beginning, and then kind of help guide the process through, because everybody knows I'm no good at talking to a crowd. So you'll be a lot better at that than I. And then we'll have our carnivore biologist of the state. He'll be there to have a presentation and a Q&A, as well as Dan Gates. Dan Gates is going to do a speech and a Q&A for 91 related questions and stuff there.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait to hear your carnivore biologist. I'd listened to him at Outdoorsman Days last year.
Yeah, he's good.
And I enjoyed his presentation as much as anything that day.
Yeah. The guy's really intelligent. He's got his stuff together. He knows the information off the top of his head. He's really pretty intelligent, and he's good to listen to. And he's really open to conversation too. If we have the opportunity for a Q&A with him, and if people participate in that, he will enjoy it. And he will answer your questions at any capacity that he can. So yeah, he's good to listen to.
While we're on the topic,
look up expert.
Kody, say that again.
You look up expert in the dictionary, it's going to have a picture of him. Like, it is it's impressive really to hear somebody with that kind of knowledge in their head talk.
I want to talk a little bit about that because I've seen some grumblings and maybe some misunderstandings, and we need to set the record straight on some of this stuff. That's why we produce a podcast, just so we can get the facts out there instead of just what's rumor and stuff like that. But you see a lot of these comments and hear these grumblings about CPW being in bed with the anti-hunters and they're loaded up and trying to take hunting away. They get all the blame for everything. They let the wolf stuff pass, or those guys aren't saying anything about the lion ban, so they must be for it. Let's set the record straight on some of that stuff. What's been your experience in dealing with, we don't want to speak for them, but let's tell why they can't be involved, just to put this thing to bed.
Well,
yeah,
go ahead,
Justin.
Kody, you go ahead.
All right. Yeah. So obviously CPW is not one person. It's a group of people. It's some are appointed by the governor. Some are, got their jobs through various positions. But at the end of the day, they're the managing body. They cannot speak up on everything that comes along the pipe legally. They have to remain neutral on all these issues. And whether we agree with it or not, that's literally the reason they can't speak up. And it's frustrating to me. I mean, I know it's frustrating to all hunters. But we got to remember that CPW as a whole is full of really good people that are very knowledgeable. Is there some people that shouldn't be there? Yeah, that's legit. There's some people that should probably have a job doing something else. Mm-hmm. But the organization as a whole, I hate getting seen thrown under the bus all the time, because they are like any organization. They are trying to make the best decisions with the information that's available. And sometimes they have to make unpopular decisions, stuff that I don't agree with too. But the bottom line is we're all working towards the same goal, to have healthy, sustainable wildlife populations and opportunity for hunting and fishing and those things along the way. But yeah, the grumbling amongst hunters that they're not going to agree with CPW because they don't like a decision they made about tag allocations or something like that. That's pretty petty. We need to get over that and look at the big picture here.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is you're getting the grumbling from the people that aren't involved. You're getting the grumbling from the people that have not put much stake in the game. I mean, some of the guys involved get upset and all, but we all kind of understand that they've got a role to play. They've got what they can do and what they can't do. And I can tell you from my interactions with them, they want to maintain management of the wildlife in this state. They want to continue to further the wildlife model. That is what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's pressures from above, and there's pressures from the public and everything, and they do their best to sit in that middle ground and to be that neutral party and to be the facts and the science and everything that they can. And I think really truly they're doing what they can at their capacity, and they're trying to help in providing facts and providing accurate information. And I mean, we do studies in this state. We do a lot of work in this state to try and manage this, because we're kind of a mile marker state when it comes to wildlife. The elk population, the deer, the lions. It's a state full of game, and and it's a state full of people too. And we got a lot of people up against the game. And so they've got a lot to balance on their scales, but I think overall they are looking for our best interest, and they're easy to blame. That grumble and everything, that's the first one to fall. They don't even realize that some of these decisions or these things are voted by different people, or most people don't even understand the operation of the Wildlife Commission, and so when they're like, CPW, they're looking to burn us down or take our hunting away or whatever it is. It's just not true. They really are working to help us in any capacity that they can.
I can tell you that from the inside, on the inside of that, there are several things that get passed down that you either have to enforce or, whatever, that you don't agree with. You don't agree with it. When you said, Kody, I don't agree with everything. Well, I can tell you, when I was working as a conservation officer, there were plenty of things that I didn't agree with. And I've heard people say, well, then you ought to quit your job and not do it. Well, I don't care if you're a plumber, a machine operator, you work in a factory. I don't care where you're at. If you've got a boss and you don't agree with what they do, you don't walk off the job. That's not the right way to dig this ditch. What? Then I'm walking off. It just doesn't happen like that. You can't get everything your way. And so you've got to weigh it out. But I know for a fact that there have been plenty of times when, even though the from the top down, the top of these organizations are full of bureaucratic appointments from the governor's office and all this stuff. But below that, once you get below that down into the working ranks, we're like a bunch of French resistance or something, working against the establishment at every chance we could get. And, that was, and not get caught doing it, because you will get your butt fired or disciplined. But I know there's people like that. And I've seen several of the things that have come out of CPW since Initiative 91 that were just based on facts. It's like hunting mountain lions has caused the population, a management of the wildlife resources and mountain lions has actually increased the number of mountain lions we have in the state of Colorado. And just facts like that they continue to pump out there. Can they say vote no on 91? No, they can't. So they just try to keep putting the factual stuff out there, and it's our job to find it and get it out there and use it.
Yeah. And that should be what we're looking at anyways, period. I mean, that's what we have on our side, right? Is we have a solid history of management based on facts, based on data.
Mm-hmm.
Since 1965, when mountain lions were classified as a big game species. The people pushing 91 do not have that. They've got all kinds of other opinions and articles from other states and this and that. But when you look at the environment we're in, the facts and data are 100% on our side. We have to get that out there and share it.
100%. And if we don't, if we choose to stay back and sit back and grumble and make these opinions and assumptions, we're doing exactly what we can't stand about our opposition. We're making emotional decisions, it's based on nothing. Like you said, Kody, we've got all the facts on our side. So we don't have to make emotional decisions. We can just keep hitting them with facts. So,
100%.
But anyway, I wanted to get that out there and cover that so that people would understand. Your biologist isn't going to be there talking about his opinions about 91. He's not going to be able to answer those kind of questions, anything like that. He's going to give us a presentation on east slope management, and he just does such a great job. I really enjoyed listen to this guy speak.
Yeah, he does really well. And back to what you were mentioning to it, I just thought of something when you said that once you get below on the totem pole of the governor appointed individuals,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the people that are involved in this agency are diehard hunters and fishermen and
100%.
wildlife nuts, and they got into that because they are that,
Right.
And so they care about the wildlife just as much as anybody else, and they care about the hunting and fishing just as much as anybody else, so it's important for folks to understand that. And some people carry a chip on their shoulder with their local DNR for whatever reason, and in this moment, we need to take the chip off the shoulder and see where they're trying to help,
mm-hmm.
and not fight against them, because they're getting enough backlash and enough fighting and arguing with the antis that we don't need to be part of the problem as well.
Sure.
But yeah, one thing I did want to mention, going back to Banquet.
Let's do it.
So we're doing tickets are going to be $65 per person. If you're a member of UHC, you can log into the website and buy your tickets, and you'll get a 15% discount for up to 4 tickets. I save people, I don't know, $9 or $11, I think, a ticket or something like that. Save you some money if you're a member.
What's the website, Justin?
UnitedHoundsmenofco.com.
United Houndsmen. And we'll put these in the show notes, folks. So
co.com.
Is it MEN or MAN?
MEN.
Okay. See how Kody's shirt's spelled right there, Justin? When
Mhm.
it says Houndsman.
Yeah, we're men.
United
That's
Houndsmen
plural, Chris.
Yep.
of co.com.
Yes, sir.
.com. All right. Go ahead, Justin. Sorry. I
And
just want to make
the
sure we
adult
had
tickets, like I said, the adult tickets are $65. And then if you're a member, you get your discount. Kids over 12 or 35 and kids on 11 and under are, I couldn't put 0 on the website, so I had to put $1. That way I can get a head count and we can kind of gauge what we need for the game prizes and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So, and then there's going to be a corporate table as well. And we've stolen this from UHA as well. I think it's another thing that they've done great. We bought a corporate table out there, and what they do is they put a gun on the table to be, raffled off amongst the folks on that table. And you can do whatever you want, draw straws, arm wrestle, have an argument, whatever it is, however you want to disperse that gun amongst those 8 people sitting at that corporate table. That gun's going to be yours. We're going to be putting a probably $800 to $1,000 value lever gun, 4570 Rossies or something of that nature.
Are you going to have a portable octagon where somebody could get in the ring and?
I hope, yeah, bunch of baby oil and stuff. I don't know, so we'll have to do
that
something.
Sounds perverted. I guess that's par for the course in Colorado these days.
Right, it'd make it a little more difficult, wouldn't it?
Justin, you go straight to the baby oil. I'm just wondering what's on your mind here.
I guess it's just something to come up with. I don't know. Gotta find some new material here. But yeah, so that corporate table would be a nice deal. And then, of course they come with tickets. The way we're doing the venue there is we're going to have just a ticket station where people buy tickets. The tickets will get you a beer, or the tickets will get you one of the games. The games will be ticketed as well. One cool thing we are going to do with Ledged Out is we'll have a tasting bottle of Ledged Out, and you get a small tasting of Ledged Out for a couple of tickets. And that's just kind of a fundraiser that we're going to do there. But it give people an opportunity to try out Ledged Out. And I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. So it should be a good time. I hope folks come along and come enjoy it with us.
What kind of auction items we looking at?
Well, we've got some hunts. We've got a variety of different hunts they'll have posted here before too long. I just got to button down all the logistics on them. We got a Stone Glacier pack.
There you go.
Yeah, we got Stone Glacier pack on the way. We got this custom made fireball. And basically it's an outdoor fire pit. It's this big 3D dimensional. I don't know what the 3D dimensional word is for an octagon, but that's what it is. It's got a bunch of different plates all over it, and it's got wildlife all over it. Dogs treeing on the chimney. It's very neat. It's a very cool piece. We had done by a guy out here named Eldon Rizzi. Big shout out to him. He's been a big help.
Can you cook on it? Can you cook? Is it a cooker or what?
Well, it's got a flat. Well, no, I think the chimney one doesn't. So
it's not really made to cook, but
okay.
You could pull it off if you were desperate.
And I think they do make one that you can cook on. But yeah, your eggs might slide off the side of it. Yeah. Yeah, and this one, your eggs might slide off the side of it, fall in a hole or something. But there's lion tracks all over it. There's some quotes down at the bottom. It's a neat piece, man. It'll be really cool. And then we'll have silent auction items. Don't know exactly what all of our silent auction items are yet, but we're going to have probably 3 tables at least worth of silent auction items for folks to choose from. But yeah, I think it should be.
And we got, I don't know how much Justin wants to spill the beans on it, but we do have a celebrity hunt set up too that is probably going to interest even more and more people outside of that banquet that are sports fans as well.
Yeah.
It's not, I'm not the celebrity in the hunt. Just so you know, I'm not
that's
not the celebrities in the hunt. Yeah.
No.
That's disappointing. It's not me. So that's, yeah.
I think it would be okay if we preface that hunt right now. So
what is it?
It's a hunt with Kody Lostroh and Derek Wolf, and it's hosted at Derek Wolf's lodge in Fairplay, Colorado. So it's going to be a neat deal. You get to roll around with Kody and Derek and go chase some lions in the mountains of Colorado, and we'll be previewing that out and setting that on for an online auction. And that online auction will probably extend past the date of the banquet. That way enough people have got an opportunity to kind of get their hands on it and things. And I think that'll be a really neat hunt to do.
And for those that don't know, I'm sure everybody does, but Derek Wolf is a professional football player with the Denver Broncos. It's impressive just to see him in person, regardless. That's what you'll want to buy the hunt, just to see this mountain of a man.
Yep.
He was a defensive end, wasn't he? Defensive end for the Broncos, I believe.
I think so. Yeah.
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 And was he on one of the Super Bowl teams? He was.
Oh yeah.
And he's a Hall of Famer, right?
Yep.
In the NFL Hall of Fame yet? I don't know. I'll look that up.
I believe he might be. Yeah. I know he's got a Super Bowl ring. I got to see it. It's pretty neat. Thing's humongous. I didn't realize. You see him on TV or whatever, but the thing's like the end of a pop can on his hand. This guy's got big old dinner plates for hands, and big old Super Bowl ring on there. But no, he's a good guy, man, and he's ready to jump in and fight as much as anybody. And it's neat to see somebody like that, being willing to go against the grain and say, hell yeah, I'll come in and fight with you. I'm ready for it. Whatever you want, we're going to pull it off, and it's back to networking and meeting people and doing things like that. That didn't happen unless I walked up and shook his hand and started having a conversation.
Right. Is he going to be at the banquet?
He is. Yep.
Great.
Yep. He's going to make the banquet. So yeah, it should be a good deal, but that hunt will be interesting to see. That'll be fun.
What are you going to do if how are you going to do it if we don't win 91?
Well,
we got another place in the works out of state.
Cool. And just wanted to cover that ground.
Yeah. No, there's a backup plan for that, So that should be taken care of if that is to fall through. Lord willing, it doesn't, and everything goes our way, but yeah, there is a backup plan for that in place.
Yeah, for sure. What else we got on the banquet? Anything else we need to cover? What time do you think we'll be wrapped up? Should people plan to come stay over the night after the banquet?
Yeah, Gunnison's middle of nowhere, middle of somewhere kind of deal. So better book you a hotel. It was my guess. And I think the banquet should close. I'm putting my goal is 9:00.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't always work that way with something like that, but at least if that's the goal, maybe we run over a little bit. We're into 10:30, something like that. We're not out there till 1:00 in the morning. People got kids and families, and people get sleepy at night. So I want to get them shut down in time, get back to a hotel, and not have some, all-nighter drag it by kind of event,
Yeah, when you go to the Wisconsin Bear Hunters Banquet, there isn't an end time. I got those people up there can drink some beer. I went to bed with watching people, and I got up the next morning to leave at like 5:00 in the morning. Some of the same people were sitting out in front of the hotel still drinking beer. I was like, wow. This is those are diehard experience right here. Yeah. Yeah. It was crazy. But what else we got?
No, I think that about sums up the
It's gonna be a cash bar or what? What we got?
We'll have a cash bar and a ticket bar. So we'll have a point of sale for cards. And there'll also be a cash bar section as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have two different points of sale in there, one for the cash bar and one for the tickets and stuff. And folks should come in when they register and just buy a handful of tickets, go use the games and for drinks and things. And I'll kind of speed up the process a little bit. So if you buy your tickets when you're coming through the door, you won't wait in the lines as much and have to find cash and things like that. But I think it should go pretty smooth that way. But yeah, you'll have a cash bar as well as the ticket system.
Mm-hmm. And how many tickets do you foresee being available for this banquet?
Many as you want to buy.
No, I mean, what's your capacity
for seating? Okay. So what we want to do is My goal is to sell out 200 tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And that way it gives me a head count for my food, makes things a little easier. I can cater to the event a lot better that way. If we do sell out, I've got the availability to up that a little ways. I've got some more space in my venue. I've got some more opportunity with food and things. So we could move that a little bit, but I want to get to the point to where we sell out on 200.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can do that, then that's a success for us. Being its location and the short time frame that we've put it on and everything else, that's goal number one. And if we get enough interest and we sell out quick and in a hurry, we'll go ahead and add some more tickets for folks if we need to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
200 is my goal.
Good. I hope we sell all 200 of them. They're going to be available. When are they available now?
They're
Can you
available
start
right
buying
now.
now? All right.
Yep.
So you can go to unitedhoundsmenofco.com and start buying those tickets, because I foresee you selling out. I think this is going to be a huge year for you. And I said something earlier about, if we lose 91, I have full confidence, and I'm so optimistic about it. Our organization on this thing has been impressive. Led by, you guys have been involved, Dan Gates, SCI, RMEF, and all that stuff. But I think we're going to be successful. I don't think it's. I think we're going to be mountain lion hunting for the next few years for sure.
Yep. No,
Yep.
I do too. Yeah, the effort that's been put into this and the participation from non-hound hunting, non-mountain lion hunting, non-bobcat hunting people has been astounding. There's fire underneath everybody on this deal, and there's a lot of really good brains involved, a lot more intelligent people than myself involved in this, and there's it's being executed really, really well. And we've given ourselves every opportunity to beat these folks. And so I think if we can continue on that path, then I think we're in really good shape.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. It's one of those deals that we've got to come out. There's a reason why you need to come out and support this event. While I'm very confident and I'm optimistic that we're going to defeat this thing, we've got to have a strong showing as a community of houndsmen, that we're here, we're serious, we can mobilize, we can get involved. And if for no other reason, if we lose and RMEF and Sheep and these other organizations are the only ones fighting, they're going to have another cause to fight next year. They really are. There's going to be a Wolverine. There's going to be another, something to do with wolves. There's going to be something for them to fight a cause to drive their flag in. But this is who we are and what we do. If we lose it, we're done. You might as well sell your stuff, or move out of state.
And along those lines, we're all optimistic that we're going to prevail. But right now we're in the 10th round, right? Like, we're coming down to the wire, and we've got to keep the pressure on, keep our foot on the gas,
100%,
and finish them off. Like, when your enemy's on the ropes, you don't back up. You put your foot on their throat and finish it. So everybody, let's put our foot on the throat and get it done.
100%. We don't want to win it by 0.3 of a percentage point. We want to win this thing and beat them. I want to, we got them on like Kody said, we got them on the ropes and they're staggering around. We need to finish this thing with a knockout, so that next time they think about doing this, or they'll remember what they had to go through and how much money they had to spend to lose.
Yeah.
And that can only happen. It can only happen if we all get involved. The time for us to sit back and is not now.
No.
We got to do our part.
And more to that too, what people need to understand is, and I didn't know this prior to getting into UHC and getting involved with CPW and other things. When you become part of an organization, you buy yourself into representation, and then the people representing you in those conversations and in those things, they come with weight then. Because I'm not just one person walking up and talking to somebody.
Right.
I'm a membership walking up and talking to somebody, and that provides value at those tables that you're standing and talking at. Because if the guy looks at me and he goes, "Oh yeah, he's a representation of 300 people," there's people and money behind him. They understand that buys us more power in those types of conversations and situations. And so that's another part that's really important to get involved with UHC right now, is because you add to the benefit of what we can pull off in those conversations inside dealings with organizations and commission meetings and things. We get a representation level that's higher than just that one individual walking in the room.
100%. You know, if this event is a huge success, you know, I hope you guys raise 80 grand, 100 grand. Hope you raise 100 grand on the 29th, you know, but I want everybody to think about this. If all this effort's put out there and everything's moving, the opposition is watching to see how much money UHC can generate. If you go out there and you raise 100 grand, they're going to be like, holy crap, we didn't think these guys were that organized. If you only go out there and everybody decides like, yeah, you know, I'm awful busy and I got to buy the newest Garmin system, so I can't spend money for the UHC banquet and blah blah blah, and you only raise $10,000, the opposition is going to be like, we knew they couldn't do it. We can raise $10,000 by taking a dump and calling CBD or HSUS, texting them on the phone. We got to raise money, and we got to make it look like we're serious. We're heavyweight contenders, and we're not going to be pushed around.
And if they need the new Garmin system, there'll be one at the banquet, so they
exactly
can come there to get it.
100%.
So, but yeah, I agree with you there. You know, it's important on another level, better than the words that I've got to participate and show that. Because, and the other thing is they are watching Houndsmen and the Hounds organization to see our reaction and see how we act and interact. And I think we've done a good job to do no harm at this point and let them see that, these are intelligent people that are willing to stand up for what they know and understand. So,
yeah. All right, guys. Hey, I appreciate you taking time.
Appreciate you. Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate all you do.
It's an honor, man. I'm telling you, it really is to be able to interact with you guys and see how you're working and bring this message out there and keep fighting for hunters and use this platform to be able to do that. That's what it was all about. And it's easy to do when you got good people out there fighting hard and to keep everything rolling. So,
well, we appreciate you, Chris.
Yeah, you bet. See you guys on the 29th.
Yes, sir. See you in a little bit.
All right. You bet.
All right, see you there.
We're going to wrap up this episode of the Houndsman XP podcast. If you want to continue to support this fight in Colorado, then the Ledged Out is all sold out. However, we're getting ready to drop all of our Ledged Out merchandise. We've got leather wrapped hip flasks. We've got coasters. We've got some labels that we're framing up. We've got t-shirts. All that stuff's going to be featured on the website at houndsmanxp.com. The Joiner die collection is still on the website, and you can still get that. If you buy that sweatshirt, wear it to the banquet, I'll figure out something. I'll figure out something to do. I want to do something special like that, but if you can show me something like that. But that money is still rolling to CRWM. So make sure you're visiting houndsmanxp.com. It helps us keep this show on, get the word out for organizations like UHC, and helps me get out there to help them. So that's all I got. Thanks for tuning into this podcast, this episode of the Houndsman XP podcast. This is Fair Chase.